Yo, so you thinking about moving to New York? There's a couple things that you should know. So I've been here since 2018, so that's about 6 years now. I moved from DC, and I came here because I wanted to get into the media landscape sort of thing. I'll get to that at another time. But I want to share with you today a couple of things that I like and I don't like about moving to New York, and some things that you need to know if you're thinking about moving here. I have lived in Brooklyn the entire time I've been here. While I did want to move to Manhattan and experience the city lifestyle, I can't afford that.
Do you need some money?
The rent here is super expensive, so the whole time I've been in sort of the same area, and your experience here is also going to vary depending on where you live and what neighborhood you live close to. So I've lived with roommates that I didn't know, that I literally just met off of like Facebook Marketplace, like Facebook earlier that week. I've lived with friends that I did know. I've lived with my sister, which is great. So I always recommend living with somebody that you know, or live with somebody that you're close with, because living with strangers is never fun. This is unlike a lot of places in the country where you're probably going to live with somebody that you don't know. And that happens all the time, unless you can afford it. So I'm going to start off by going through a couple of things that are great about this city. And then I'm going to go into a couple of things that I really don't like about this city that you should know. Now, the first thing that you should know that is great about this city is you're going to meet people from all walks of life, and you can come as you are. You can go outside with a literal clown suit on, literally with Ronald McDonald out here. You can do that. You can go out here butt ass naked, and no one is going to care.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
This is the city of minding your own business. No matter where you come from or who you're trying to be with, you will find your tribe here if you try. Because we got people moving from all over the world, all over the planet, all over the country, and there's just no judgment here. No one cares if you're gay, straight, in the middle, if you're black, white, yellow, brown. Everybody just sort of comes together in New York, and I think that's one of the things that makes it like a very unique place. People do tend to look out for one another. Your friend group is probably going to be comprised of a couple people from different backgrounds, different races, different ethnicities. So it's a very, very diverse place, probably the most diverse place that I've ever lived, and maybe the most diverse place on the planet. I mean, you could be standing on a sidewalk and look around with 10 people, and it's every race on the planet right there. It's really that crazy. So the second good and terrible thing about New York City is the transportation. The train is pretty reliable given the scale of it. I mean, it goes throughout all the 5 boroughs: Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, Manhattan, what have you. Like I said, I live in Brooklyn. So if you're traveling to Midtown, depending on where you live in Brooklyn, it can take as little as 15, 20 minutes, or it can take as long as an hour and a half on a bad day. So if you live in Midtown, or if you're trying to commute to Midtown, if you work there or something like that, then definitely keep that in mind. If you live on the eastern parts of Queens, or if you live in like the northern part of the Bronx, it's gonna take you some time to get to the city. While you might save a couple dollars on rent, you're gonna make up for that in time commuting to the city if that's what you have to do, or if a lot of your obligations are in the city. So the train, it runs 24/7, but Monday through Friday is the best time to take the train because that's when they have less track maintenance. On the weekend, you'll see signs everywhere that says track maintenance, or they're replacing whatever. I can personally tell you that I ain't never seen a worker work on a train on a weekend. I ain't never seen it. I think it's because they don't have the money to pay for people on the weekends, but they say they're working on the train. I don't ever see it, but the weekends is a madhouse. I mean, literally the train by me just don't even run on the weekends sometimes. Literally, I walk to the train and it'll say no service to Manhattan. So you got to be prepared for that. Maybe you got to take another train, maybe get a bike, maybe get a scooter. If you have a car, just be prepared to pay for a lot of parking tickets. But generally, the train is going to be your old faithful. It's going to be your old reliable. It's only $2.90. It's going to get you to where you need to go more oftentimes than not. Just be prepared for all kinds of crazy delays, or maybe having to switch routes. So download you a nice little trusty subway app. That'll help. And maybe make a custom route. Usually I do that, and it makes me avoid all of the chaos and the craziness. Another amazing thing about New York is there's always something to do. They say that this is the city that never sleeps, And it's pretty much true. Places don't usually close until 2 or 4 a.m. Like, so if you want to go to a dive bar, a comedy club, you want to go to a speakeasy, you want to go see some live music, really any night of the week, especially if you're in Manhattan, you're going to be able to find somewhere to do that. Since COVID, things have changed a little bit. A lot of spots are closed down. Some of them are closing a little earlier. Some of them are not open on Sundays anymore. But still, there's always something to do. And even the touristy stuff, people who live here take it for granted. I myself have taken it for granted. I haven't even gone to a couple of things like a Mets game. I've only seen the Statue of Liberty once. There's a lot of things that I haven't done. I haven't even gone to a Broadway show. So there's tons of things to do. Another thing I will say, though, is this is a very alcohol and drink heavy city.
Julian.
So there are ways around it. There's mocktails everywhere. But a lot of what you're going to be doing here is going to be based around drinking. So definitely be prepared for that. But New York City is also what you make it, because life doesn't happen on the couch. If you stay inside your little bubble, inside your little neighborhood, that's totally fine. But just know that you're not going to be living the real, true New York experience. A lot of people talk about, is New York changed or whatever. And honestly, yes, but you just have to go outside. Spend some time with some people who you share community with, or people you share like-minded hobbies with, whether it's biking, whether it's cycling, whether you're a singer, you're a dancer, you're a comedian, or whatever. Just get around those group of people, and that sense of community will start to be there, and your world really will just open up, and you'll start to meet people who are from all walks of life who you never would have imagined that you would be friends with. So you really have to do New York. You have to go to the networking events. You have to go to the mixers. You have to get outside if you want to experience the true New York. And when you get outside, you'll always be able to find your tribe. You'll always be able to find some people who are trying to do the same thing as you.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup. You want to go do karate in the garage? Yup.
And that is motivating. That is inspiring. That is encouraging to meet like-minded people, because oftentimes in other cities or other places, you might be the only one who's trying to do that. But it's cool to meet people who are trying to do the same thing as you. So that is kind of dope. So now we're going to move on to the bad. I could talk about the bad like all day, to be honest with you, but I'm going to keep it short to maybe 3 or 4 things, and just keep it nice and concise and succinct for y'all.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So the first thing I want to talk about is how expensive it is to live here. Now, I've been here since the before times. I've been here since before 2018. So things were a little bit cheaper there. You know, you go to the deli or the bodega and you get a bacon, egg, and cheese. You get that, and maybe $3.50, $4. Now that shit damn near $6. So outside of the bodega, everything has gotten more expensive. My rent was going up pretty much every single year. It went over $3,000. I personally live in a 3-bedroom right now. And if you want to live by yourself in New York City, be prepared to pay more than $2,000 a month. And I live in Brooklyn, so imagine if you want to live in Manhattan, you're probably going to be paying more than $3,000 unless you want a studio, and it's probably going to be the size of a shoebox, and you're probably not going to have any amenities or nothing like that.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
So everything is super expensive. The Ubers are mad expensive. So if you got a flight to JFK, that Uber is probably going to be more than your damn flight to JFK, if I'm being honest with you. And that makes me really, really mad, because I'll fly to Miami, or I'll fly to DC, or I'll fly to Myrtle Beach real quick, and I'll get a flight for like $50, $60, $70, and then my Uber or my Lyft on the way home is over $100. So definitely keep that in mind. It's very expensive to live here. So if you're not making over maybe $50,000 or $60,000, I would say you're probably gonna have to have a roommate. So definitely be prepared for that. Another thing you got to be mindful of in New York City is the homeless / mentally ill / crazy population.
Woo! What's up with it, motherfucker?
No matter where you go, you're going to run into that. I don't care where you live. I don't care what train you take. There's going to be that. So my best advice to you is to just do not engage. Avert your gaze so you don't have to look at them, because if you do engage, there is an increased likelihood that they are going to try to engage you, whether that's physically or verbally. I don't know. But this is the city of minding your business. So mind your business. If you see somebody tweaking out, you see a drug addict kind of doing some weird things, just keep your head down, keep your head straight, and get past it. A lot of people have been talking about the migrant community or the migrant population in New York. And yeah, it has gotten, they are noticeable. I don't care where you are, you will notice them. A lot of them are here just to live a life and chase the American dream and ain't here to bother nobody. But there are a small select few who are out here causing trouble. So just mind your business. This is the city of minding your business. So just make sure you continue to do that. A couple of other annoying things that I'm just going to talk about in New York, especially if y'all never visited here, is it's going to smell.
I think I can smell shite.
All the time. It's going to smell like garbage. It's going to smell like piss. It might be a human. It might be a dog. I don't know. It's up to you to figure out. But no, it smells all the time. So that's really annoying. So be prepared for that. It also randomly rains all the time. So always have an umbrella on you, because you never want to get caught in the city with no umbrella and then have to go to CVS or Walgreens and buy a $12 or $15 umbrella that's just going to break. Nobody wants to do that. It is also very loud here, especially if you live next to a train. I hope you don't. And if you do, I hope you got some good windows, because you ain't going to be able to sleep. You got to be at least a block or an avenue away from the train and not hear it if it's above ground. And it's loud. The cars are loud, the moving trucks are loud, the tractor trailers are loud, the sirens are loud. I don't care what time of night it is, 3 a.m. it could be running, and it's very annoying. And a lot of the apartments here don't come with amenities. A lot of them don't come with washer or dryer. They don't come with a gym. They might come with the elevator if you have stairs. So there's a lot of things that you're just not going to get living in New York City. But what you are going to get is an experience that you have with you for a lifetime. You'll meet so many like-minded people, and you'll really build a sense of community if you do New York right. So drop some likes, drop a comment about some content that you want to hear me talk about, or some things that I missed. I might do a part 2. I might show y'all some more things about New York City and talk a little bit more about my journey as far as a filmmaker is concerned, as far as working in consulting, as far as just even getting to New York and networking and all of that. So peace and love. Thanks for sticking around. And if you like this video, man, like this video. Peace.